Permaculture is a design system based in science and guided by ethics. It includes a philosophy of working with rather than against nature. To learn more, let's put about 60 clicks behind us in a southwesterly direction, and we'll arrive at Rootstock Farms.
Hi, my name's Jordan Saunders, and I'm a young agrarian.
And I'm Isis Velkova-Andrus, and I'm the details person at Rootstock Farms.
We've been together just over 4 years, but we've known each other since we were kids. We both grew up around this area.
So we have a lot of friends and family here.
Our moms were actually best friends when we were younger. We both spent some time out on the west coast, out on Vancouver Island, and we kept on coming back to Black Diamond.
Started, building a more intimate friendship based around farming, actually.
Yeah, so we decided to start hanging out a little more.
And it just so happened that we wanted to grow gardens and kind of dip into that a little bit. And 4 years later, this is where we are.
The rest is history.
I was born and raised on a farm that was a pretty alternative to begin with. Some would say, a total permaculture setup. But I didn't hear the term permaculture until probably about 5 years ago when it was pretty up and coming in Calgary.
I started to read about this permaculture thing on a website called vergepermaculture.ca, and it had mentioned that there's a course offering all of these things that I wanted to learn, from, rainwater capture to alternative agriculture and building, and just really self-sufficiency, but in more of a design system method. And so I was able to take the 72-hour permaculture design certificate, and I haven't really looked back since then.
We've been kind of implementing a lot of those techniques in all areas of our life.
It's really flipped our lives upside down for the better. We're a pastured pork business. We specialize in ethically raised pigs, and we're just trying to dive into how to raise pigs more naturally.
We have 32 feeders and then 4 sows, so 4 big mums.
They're mostly Berkshire with some Tamworth and large black.
Berkshire is our heritage breed, which is a bonus for us.
And that was part of what we wanted to get into, is trying to preserve some of those genetics.
They're also cold hardy, so they can withstand Alberta winters and frosts, which is a bonus as well.
Pigs are naturally forest animals, so we're trying to send them back to their natural habitat, and so they thrive on a lot of rootstock.
And bugs, and where better to find those things than in the forest.
And the forest habitat here at Rootstock Farms is nestled away on a secluded and quiet retreat known as Woodland West.
We're the McNaughtons.
Welcome to Woodland West.
We do a whole variety of things, but first of all, we really love the opportunity to live in this beautiful space of ours, and then having a chance to share it with people on a whole variety of different levels. We bring groups in and offer spaces for them to meet or do yoga or learn about permaculture, either inside or outside.
Permaculture, we probably got introduced to it about 6 years ago, I guess, when we hosted the Permaculture Convergence Conference here. 150 people, it was our first event and the biggest one we've ever had. And that really got us going with permaculture concepts. So we grow our own food here, which we serve to groups that come. And we're partnered with Jordan and Isis on the pig project. And we do a lot of natural building workshops here, anything that comes along. And we're learning as we go. So we're having a lot of fun doing that.
Didn't know anything about pigs, not at all. But I just embraced the partnership, first of all, and it was a learn as you go kind of thing.
Well, my day kind of starts out coming to check on the pigs, make sure they're all here, make sure they have lots of fresh water and feed. Kind of checking the perimeter, making sure that there's nothing on the fence so that it's not shorting out.
We use electric fence. We use polywire with a fairly juicy charger because we're on the edge of Kananaskis country. We've got predator pressure, and so part of that strategy is our dogs. Part of it is sleeping fairly close to where the pigs are, and the big sows are also somewhat formidable, but we try to move the pigs as often as we can. There's ideals for disturbance. Disturbance is always going to happen in nature, and most ecosystems thrive on it actually, but there's kind of a formula for disturbance and then a rest period, and if you're familiar with any type of rotational grazing or holistic management, that's the keystone to their systems. And so this brings up, their rooting activity brings up the dormant seed bed and aerates the soil and fertilizes it, and then the idea is to move them off after a few days, or sometimes even after one day, and then let that area rest for a few months at least.
That's a self-feeder, so we fill it up every few days so that the pigs can eat as they please. And they don't need it all the time, like there's plenty of grass and roots, but it just allows them to have access to constant food all the time.
We've worked with a feed mill to get a custom non-genetically modified mix with no corn or soy. And then we mix in organic barley that's rolled from a local farmer. And then we also sprout organic grains, which doesn't go into the feeder because it's a wet food.
All GMO free. They seem to love it.
We've been really lucky to salvage a lot of the materials we've needed for this enterprise, and so we went to a local farmer and he had an extra water trailer, and so I built a water manifold that has 4 water nipples, and so they have free access to water all the time. So we just have to pull the trailer and fill the tank up from time to time.
We don't have to fill it up too often, maybe once a week. And they have access to water, fresh, cold water all the time, and that's pretty important for pigs.
One challenge for a lot of young farmers these days is having a permanent land basin, because we're just on a 1-year term right now with the current landowners, and we're not sure where we are going to be in the future. We'd still like to have a home, as most people do, so we've decided to build a tiny home that's about 250 square feet, and it's built on a flat deck trailer, so we can move it to any farm base that we have. And that's consistent with most of our infrastructure with the pigs too. Everything is fairly mobile, so if we decide to move the business anywhere else, we can pick up and move fairly easily.
Yeah, just try it, growing your own food, whether it be animals or vegetables or kind of whatever you're into. And then harvest and then eat and nourish yourself and your friends and family. To me, that's pretty inspiring.
We've got a large network and a large community that are kind of tapped into quality food and ethically raised animals. We are almost sold out of our pigs for the season, so we're just going to do 1 litter this year, and we'll have another one ready for next fall.